Hi there, and welcome to A&P with Dr. O. Let's talk about body cavities. In order to visualize our body cavities, we're going to use this figure from the Anatomy and Physiology OpenStax textbook. Body cavities are important because they protect organs, and they also allow for the size and shape of our organs to change. In this lateral view, we can see the anterior side of the body and the posterior side. And then we also have an anterior view for us as well. If we're looking at the posterior side, we have the dorsal cavity. And this is where bone is going to be used to protect organs. The dorsal cavity can be further broken down into the cranial cavity, where the bones of the skull will protect the brain. And then we also have the vertebral cavity, where the vertebrae, those bones, are going to surround and protect the spinal cord. If we go to our anterior view, we have our ventral cavity. And the ventral cavity uses serous membranes to protect the organs. And we'll talk more about the serous membranes in another video. The ventral cavity can also be further broken down. We have this chest cavity here, and that's going to be the thoracic cavity. And the thoracic cavity is going to contain the cavities that house the lungs and the cavity that houses the heart. If we're housing the lungs, that is going to be the pleural cavity. If we're housing the heart, that is going to be the pericardial cavity. Now, we also have this structure here known as the mediastinum. And that contains the trachea, the esophagus, major blood vessels, and it also contains the pericardial cavity as well. We then have a separation between the thoracic cavity and our lower body cavities, our abdominopelvic cavities, and they are separated by the diaphragm. Here we can see the abdominal cavity. And then down below we have the pelvic cavity. And the two together are known as abdominopelvic. And I'm just going to put that down here so we have a little bit more room. Well, let me erase that real quick. I didn't quite leave myself enough room. I'll start that over. I appreciate your patience there. That's better. There's our abdominopelvic cavity. The abdominal cavity surrounds many of our digestive organs. The pelvic cavity surrounds the bladder, reproductive organs, and the last part of the digestive tract.